TMNT time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Monster. Another one bites the crust. I love that pun, by the way. So we got the Neca box, which is styled like an old school VHS tape box, and it's amazing. I love it. We got some bio in the back and a bunch of pictures. And if you wanna, this is by the way volume 7, if you wanna keep the monster in the box, you can display it like that and have a look at it. But I'm not about that. I wanna take the monster out and have a look at it. Let's go. Oh my god, this guy's big. And he, well, more like it stands about. Also have the legs as straightened as gets, because there's something I'll address in a second with the legs, but stands at about 8.5, almost 8.6 inches, depending if you're looking at the front or the back of the head, which means we are going up to 21 and a half, up to 22 centimeters. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter, Neca Michelangelo, Super 7 Michelangelo, and Darkseid. Overall look and detail for the pizza monster, well, it's obviously an alien. That should be pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it was in an episode, The Pizza Monsters, where they came from Dimension X. Baxter Stockman had them in X. Got warmed up in a microwave where they got like the little guys out of it, and then it morphed into these huge, big, towering beasts. And you know me, I love me some big dudes and big figures. So I obviously have to pick this one up. And this figure is absolutely beautiful. First and foremost, really nice menacing face, got the teeth painted. Also some detail in the mouth with the hinge fairly nicely hidden in there. And the line work. The line work is what really gets me with this figure. Everything on here is so goddamn clean. I mean, I honestly, well, except for that one. And what about that one, Payne? No, I'm just kidding. Because honestly, Neca had the biggest issues with these things like a long time ago, a couple of years ago. I feel like the line work on these cartoon figures sometimes was absolutely awful. But this time around, yeah, it does shine, it is clean, and it's absolutely beautiful. You have some white spots all throughout the figure, and you have the classic. At this point, it's classic because as long as Neca has been doing the cartoon line, every figure has like a 2 or like a 3-tone paint job, where in the back it gets a lot darker, and in the front you have mostly just one color and maybe a little bit of hints of like orange here and there, but for the most part it's yellow, and it looks good. It looks good, and it articulates well. But articulation, we're not even there yet. I'm just giving you another look at it. Obviously, it's not the most detailed figure, but I feel like they really brought out the best out of it by delivering all this beautiful line work. But yeah, I mean, moving on to the articulation. So I already shown you the mouth that opens wide. Then you have the head, which goes back and forth. Really, if you push a little bit on it, you do get some very nice range. Goes side to side. Also, all the way around. For the neck, you have the same thing, and if you combine these two, got some great menacing poses out of the head, which I really enjoyed. And you have a big hinge in the shoulder, which you can also rotate, works as a swivel. Now, nothing in the shoulder itself, you know, there's no ball joint, there's no hollowed out area for that. You got the double hinged elbow joint, but I would be careful because it's fairly thin considering how big he is. But it looks good. I mean, like overall, also the paint on there is clean. It does continue, it doesn't just stop. Then the hand is just on another hinge. Can move that up and down, also swivel it. And I think also can also swivel the elbow, I guess. It should swivel, but you know, Neca joints can be somewhat stiff, so I wouldn't force it too much, but it does work. I would specifically take the upper one because that one seems to be a lot more straight than the other one, you know, that's curved, so you might just break off the joint a little bit. Chest area, yeah, that's where it kind of falls apart. I mean, it's still decent considering how clean the mold is. Goes forward, side to side, and all the way around. Have nothing at the hips, but again, that would be something that just breaks up the sculpt, so I'm fine with that. Now I have one problem with the legs. They really needed to hollow it out just a little bit more over here because you cannot really straighten out the legs. They will always just kind of stand out a little bit to the side because it's clashing at the back over here. And that's just the only issue I have with the articulation. And then you can also obviously rotate it on here. It goes forward, out to the side, and not really to the back because of what I mentioned. Have also the double hinged knees look flawless. And I guess you also have rotation in the upper part as well there, so you get some more out of that. And the foot is on another hinge, so you can bring that forward, backwards, and does tilt side to side, which is a little bit stiff again. I kind of afraid I'm gonna break it off, so just be careful with that, don't overextend. There's also the tail, which they have fixed, because like usually tails I had problems with, especially NECA figures where the tail would pop off constantly. But this one, it's on a double ball, so you can rotate it nicely, and you kind of have the ball inside of that way. You have a little bit of wiggle motion, but then on the ball itself you get some more out of it, so it really does help with stability, especially helping him stand up and all that. For accessories, you don't get that much, but you do get the essentials. First of all, there's a pizza, which had the eggs on it, which you have the UFO logo. The story is that Baxter Stockman delivered a pizza to the turtles in an attempt to obviously hatch the pizza monsters, which then came out as these little guys, but kind of like gremlins. And this one also doesn't have any articulation, but once they hit with water, again like the gremlins, they turn giant and yellow. And this, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that was the device that Baxter Stockman was using to control the pizza monsters. I don't know how that works, but you know, it's an old school cartoon, so why am I talking about logic when I'm talking about mutant turtles, pizza monsters, and a giant fly that used to be a scientist? So there you go with that. I mean, it's nicely detailed. Some of the line work on it isn't very clean. It's fairly thick, but alas, it still looks good, I guess. And here we are already at the final force. I love this figure. I mean, the size, the paint job on it is exquisite. You don't get a lot of accessories, but I feel like you don't really need it. Well, you know, maybe some hands here and there would have been okay, but usually it's just like, I'm okay with just having claw hands, maybe fist hands, whatever. I think this figure looks great, articulates well, and does a great job representing the pizza monsters from the cartoon show, which is obviously also one of the most important aspects of this. As such, I will obviously recommend it. And that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever the pizza monster wants.